Okay, it's Toby from Heavyweight MMA today with UFC fighter Josh Culibao, the king of the schooner, one of the GCs of the Australian fight game, biggest featherweight in Australia, fighting out of Eagle MMA Academy. How are you, brother?
I'm good. I'm good.
Bro, Groundhog Day for you, even Groundhog on interviews. Bro, so having a big fight coming up, UFC 305 Perth RAC Arena, man. How's the prep going?
Yeah, the usual, bro. The usual. It's just been a grind. Feeling good, feeling sharp, and just getting to that stage now where I just want to make weight and then fight. You know what I mean? I'm sick of waiting. I get really antsy, and I just want to get in there.
Does the grind of training and that always get to you, or you just like into it's just part of your life now? Do you ever get like any troubles with motivation and all that?
Nah. If anything, I've started to treat this what I do as a job now. You know, before I used to just do it because it was like a hobby and just train when I wanted to train, but like now I treat it like as if it is, it is my job. So, I treat it as my lifestyle now. So I do it regardless whether I'm in fight camp or out of fight camp. I'm training every day, every night.
Man, I think yeah, something like 7 fights in. Started with a draw, then you went to a decision win,
Yeah,
submission
yeah,
win. I've been
yeah. Well,
waiting for you to get the KO, brother. As I said, I'm
you
living on the side of the road in a cardboard box after two big bets on
ever,
on
ever,
KO. What's happening?
like I said, ever since you said that, it has crept in my mind quite a bit, actually. That you've said that, and I'm like, man, I have to. What is going on? I have to get that knockout. So yeah, like you said, I had a split decision loss, split decision win. I got a submission, and now I got to get a knockout finish. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Bro, you're looking super slick. That last fight of yours, I know it's a bit contentious for you, the Silva fight. You're looking great, man. Like I know obviously a couple of errors probably in the grappling side of things, but you look really good in the stand-up. You're piecing him up. You know, you landed so much. It was a good fight to watch, man. What are your thoughts on that fight?
Um, yeah. Fuck. What can
Fucking
I
hate
say,
it.
bro?
You
Fuck.
just hate that
Uh,
fight, right? Because of the result and maybe because of the bit of the first round. But man,
the I took what I took away from it. One of the boys said to me was body language, and I never really thought of it as such. Like just going back to the corner, back to the stool, having like I don't know, like a more of like chest up, head up, where I'm just sort of like walking to the stool with my head down, and like I don't know. He said like body language was a big factor. I think that plays in judges' minds. Like I could be bashing a guy for the whole round, but then I walk back to the stool, but I look fucked up. It's not a good look, It's like, why is he so cooked? You know what I mean? So, yeah, I I don't know, man. That fight is a little bit annoying because in your heart you're like, I feel like I beat you up. You're meant to be the boxer guy. You're meant to be the guy that's like roughs everyone up, and yet I'm the one that walked away cleaner, fresher. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah, it's difficult, man, because like I said, it was kind of control time versus striking, and control time doesn't win a fight anywhere in the world, any circumstance. If someone's just holding you and not really doing anything, you don't win that fight. But the judges are only human, right? They make errors, like your single choice, split decision. Like
Yep.
people make mistakes, they're only human. They look at it in a certain way, like you said, maybe swayed by I don't know, maybe they don't know about wrestling, maybe they don't know about MMA, or who knows, man, who knows? So
Yeah.
many little things could happen. Bro, this guy you're fighting, Ricardo Ramos, he's 16-6. He's a good all-round fighter, man. What are your thoughts on him?
Yeah, he's dangerous. He's good. He's dangerous. He has experience. He's been in the UFC for a while now, like myself. So he's I expect it to be him being composed, but like I said before, is that I just don't see it in him. Hey, I just don't like when the going gets tough. I just feel he backs up. He's not there. Like I'm not saying that he's like he can't do that, but from what I've seen, and he's when everything's going his way, he's world class. He's knocking people out, spinning elbows, and he's world class. But I feel like when he's the one on the other end of the stick, he can't deal with it, or he meets any adversity, he can't deal with it. So I'm not taking anything away from him, but that's what I feel. I feel he's the one that's on the receiving end, or he's the one that's not the bully, the so-called bully, the one that's getting everything off and being the hammer, he folds. So yeah.
Man, I got a strategy for you, bro. Think of using the guillotine at some point. His last 2 fights, he's lost by guillotine. Nice, obvious one for you. I don't think he'll be ready to lose a third by guillotine, so I guess he's prepared for that one, I think.
Well, people don't know I do have a really, really good guillotine. So, I mean, if he decides to shoot the way he was shooting with those other boys and leaving his neck out there, then I'll definitely snatch it up. But again, the 2 guys he lost to, which was Rosa and Charles Jourdain, they're both very opportunistic fighters, very good guys. So, again, I'm not taking anything away from him, but I feel like he was dominating those fights. He was winning those fights. Everything was going his way, those fights. And then he kind of hit a wall with them not giving up, not breaking when he was getting the better of him. And then he was like, what's going on? And then he got caught in those submissions. I don't know if he put himself in there subconsciously, or I don't know.
Being the expert that you are, bro, looking at those guillotines too, they weren't like blood choke sort of guillotine. Like it was like across the front of his throat, right? Looked that way, and especially the second one.
I think the Charles Jourdain one, I think that was more of the blood choke, where the Arosa one, I'm not too sure. It looked like his head was about to pop out, and he was almost out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he when Arosa was Ramos was already pulling out. Like, it looked like Ramos already, his head was about to pop out, and I don't know whether he just reacted too late to deal with the choke, or I don't know what it was, or just a mind blank, and he just let these guys choke him. So yeah. I know he's definitely a better grappler than what we've seen. So from those 2 things, I know for a fact he's a better grappler than what we've seen.
Yeah. And obviously he's got those cool spin attacks, man. Nice spinning kicks, nice spinning elbows, bro. Like I've said to you once before, the Martin Nguyen fight against Edward Foliang comes to mind. Nice step off as they spin, man. I heard you working on something like that, right?
Yeah, I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to give too much away, but yeah, very, very learning how to deal with all those spins and those crazy moves.
Yeah, man. And you mentioned about grappling, that he's a bit underrated grappling, and you find you feel yourself that you're a bit of an underrated grappler too. You mentioned it's something that you would like to be tested. You'd like someone to test you in the grappling to show what you got, right?
Yeah, if it was up to me, I'd tell everyone to have a punch on with me. But I'd rather say, let's just make it a striking match, with MMA gloves on, But yeah, it's MMA. So, but I mean, one day we'll get to see the grappling side of me.
Yeah, bro. Hey, you've had 2 losses in a row, likewise with him, man. How much of an effect does that have on you? I mentioned that you're obviously pretty emotional with the results when they don't go your way. You put so much into fighting that, it really hits hard when you have a loss, especially when it's a contentious loss, right? How do you deal with that, bro?
Man, just like life, you run into stuff like that, and I feel like in this sport, you have to have that sort of goldfish memory. You forget about these things, but you just have to keep plodding on. Just think about the bigger picture. These two back-to-back losses, they just sting. It just hurts. But that's why I'm busting my ass. That's why I'm working so hard, and why I'm training so hard, and why I'm, I don't want that feeling. I hate that feeling. What's that saying? People say that they love to win. It's me. I hate to lose. So it's the competitor in me. I don't know what it is in me, but I just don't like losing. The losing side of things is just shit.
Bro, when you wake up every day, what's the first sort of feeling? You wake up, you're sore and you're tired. What's the first feeling that motivates you to get up and get moving and get back into training every single day?
I don't know, man. To be honest, it's my. I feel like there's something loose in here, bro. I honestly do think there's some screws loose in here for me. I feel like when I feel the most of myself when I'm going through that, when I'm putting myself through this sort of torture, this sort of, I feel the best. I feel the best version of myself when I go through these sort of things. I feel like, I don't know how to put it. It's like my body, my mind is like, you want to go through this, but in my body's obviously smashed from all the training sessions. But it's like there's something deep inside me that's just like, there's something about this that you're addicted to. You want to keep doing it. Like the getting smashed in the gym, feeling sore, the dieting. And even though I'll say it to you guys, they're like, yeah, it's all hard and it sucks. But there's obviously something deep inside of me that just like almost needs it. Like it just wants to keep doing this. You know, I don't think I can explain why I'm wired the way I am. But that's why I think there's something not right up there.
Oh man, it's something, yeah, no, I understand exactly where you're coming from, like on a much lesser scale, you know. Like I was an amateur fighter and I trained every other day, probably in the morning and that. And I kind of need it myself. Like, yeah, it's a big part of me. And if I don't have it, I feel less of a man in the day if I don't train. And it's much less a version than you because I go to work and I do a normal sort of thing. But I understand where you're coming from, bro.
Yeah.
On that, bro, the struggles of your career, you know, ups and downs, ins and outs. How do you handle it, man, psychologically? Like we talked about networks. Do you internalize or externalize your struggles with everything?
Yeah. Like I said that before, is that like I used to internalize all the problems and keep it to myself, because growing up I was always just like, I don't know, you're taught to just not open up to people and just plod along and just take it on the chin and, you know, carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. But you know, I have such a good partner that like I've started now to like be able to be able to communicate and be able to communicate and share, and just being able to do that, I feel, it's helped me out a lot. You know, I feel this day and age, people do suffer a lot from that sort of like depression and it goes down a downward spiral because people kind of hold all their burdens to themselves and don't really want to speak about their problems or speak about what's going on in their life. But I think, ever since I've been trying to be a bit more, you know, to communicate a bit better with my partner and just even with my close friends and you know, my family as well. So,
man, just on that depression thing and touching back on the training, something I kind of think in my head all the time, which is very simplification of something like depression. But I really feel like before people go further than anything else and start going to doctors and getting pills and everything, I reckon following a life of some decent exercise, eating well and sleeping well, a lot of people are going to hit the mark and change their life around just doing that before they get to the next point. What do you think on that?
100%. They say that exercise is the most underused medicine, you know, for the people that are suffering from depression. These doctors these days, they just be like, oh, what, you're feeling depressed? Here, take some pills. Like, what is that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Yeah, this day and age is very strange. Very, very strange.
Bro. One last sort of thing, man. I feel like watching you fight Lerone, I feel like you have the potential to beat someone like Lerone, man. I think we didn't see the full potential of you in that fight. I think you're 70, 80% of what you could be. Is that a psychological thing holding you back? I think you got the physical skills to get there, bro.
Yeah. Going into that fight, there was a lot going on. You know, the birth of my child, and then there was a lot of other stuff going on behind the scenes as well. And then I'd rather be able to I'd rather be a little bit undertrained, but my mind is in the moment. I'm focused in the moment rather than being fully fit, but my mind's somewhere else, you know. So yeah, I definitely do believe, I'm at that level. And look at LeRoy now; he's killing it. He's like top 10, top 15 now. And I believe I'm on that level. I believe I can be there. I truly do believe when I'm on, and I can beat any of these featherweights. So yeah, it's just trying to obviously find the balance of both the physical and then the mental. But obviously, I feel the mental is probably the biggest thing. I'd rather be a little bit undertrained, but be in the moment than being perfectly fit and in shape, but my mind's somewhere else.
Yeah. Man, on what you just said, are you in your mind, do you still see yourself as a potential champion in the UFC? Is that what you're aiming for and fighting for?
100%. If the day that I don't believe I can be a champion or believe one of the best fighters in the world, I'm gonna stop. Like there's it, if you're doing this sport just for the sake of doing this sport, like you're just gonna get hurt. You're losing brain cells. You're taking years off your life. Um, the day that I say that I can never be a world champion or be one of the best fighters in the world, I'm stopping. Like to me, there's no point. The whole point why I did this was to be one of the best to fight. That's always been my goal, is to fight the best, be one of the best. So whenever anyone said anything, and in my own self, that I knew that I was one of the best to do it. My goal is always to be a champion. My goal is always be one of the best. So the day that I say to myself that, oh, I'm only doing it for a paycheck, or I'm only doing it for this or doing it for that, then I've completely lost the sole purpose of why I started. So I 100% agree. I 100% that, like, in my mind, I know I can do this. I can be one of the best in the world. I can be a champion. Like, I know I can.
Awesome, bro. And the first step coming up moving forward, UFC 305 Perth, RAC Arena, 18th of August against Ricardo Ramos. What are we looking at in that fight? What do you think we'll see?
Well, you keep betting on the knockout, so I'm gonna obviously go for a knockout. We need a knockout. I reckon end of the first or early in the second we get this knockout.
All right, bro. I'm betting the cardboard box on it. It's going to get me off the street, bro. Man, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be there in the crowd screaming, wearing my fucking Culibao fucking shirt, ready to rock and roll, bro. When I wear this, I get all the girls, bro. I'm not sure what it is. It's something like the power of the Culibao. So I'll be wearing it that night.
Oh, you're a crack up, Toby.
All right,
Thanks,
bro.
brother.
Man, thanks for your time again. And
Thank you.
best of luck. All right, bro.
Thanks, brother.